Okay, I just started the recording. So, has anybody ever worked with a ticketing system or for a company that uses it or anything like that before?
I kind of have. And based on what I'm looking, it looks like what I used before when I was working in a hotel for customer complaints.
Yeah, that's
Service queue.
correct.
Sorry, what was that?
I said, yes, that is a form of a ticketing system. All different types of service have a type of ticketing. In the case of the help desk, obviously, this facilitates the needs and wants of the users to be able to obviously track all the issues. You guys can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So our main objectives is to be able to explain the purpose and role of the ticketing system and tickets in the IT contents itself. List most common ticket types. So there's obviously several different types, but the majority come in those type of flavors. Describe how to navigate a ticketing system in order to view tickets, open tickets, capture notes and tickets, and close tickets. So what is a ticket, Jordan, to you? What do you think a ticket is?
It would be sort of like it doesn't have to be necessarily a physical slip, but a indication that a job has to be done.
Okay. What do you guys think from the brief description that I've gave of the system? Alexa, what is the actual ticket used for overall?
Is it to like punch your ticket in, like the time that you arrive?
Mm-hmm. All right. To be able to justify what you guys are doing, track all the requests that the person's asking and confirming. We put that information because at one point, either we're not going to attend to the ticket or maybe pass to somebody else. We need to be able to track this. And a lot of these companies have these sophisticated systems to be able to also see trends and be able to obviously attack those as soon as possible. If they see that there's probably a problem with a patch or some other issues within the company, they can be able to, with ease, see that type of trend coming in of tickets and try to remedy it. As you guys learned previously, you will need to be able to troubleshoot various issues that clients have in their computers or any related technology. It could be a printer, a scanner, something, right? You learn some details about the computer parts as well, but how to follow troubleshooting sequence is the same throughout, just obviously depending on the component and what we're doing at certain steps, right? Using a ticketing system will help us make sure that we can help our clients and also work in an efficient way that helps not only ourselves, our co-workers, as I stated a minute ago, and our company to be able to track everything that's being done. We're going to start by specifying what a ticketing system is overall. Give me a second here. Go in the next slide. What happened if you handled all IT issues and solutions only by email? Somebody tell me what would be a problem for me just using email to track tickets. So they could just send. Get lost real quick, right?
Lateness.
Yes, it'll be cluttered.
Lateness as well.
No reporting. What if one team member then leaves and you get assigned some of his tasks and he's working on? How's that going to help you? And I got to see what emails he hasn't even forwarded to me. That how am I going to? There's no way, is there? Can't think of a way unless if somebody resets his email, which usually that's not allowed, right? Any questions or doubts on this slide before we proceed? Next slide. The main goals of having ticketing systems is obviously having it all in one place. If we can be able to have a centralized location, it's going to help us to be able to then build and track tickets and monitor those trends. Easy analysis, as I said, helps prioritize the workflow because the amount of tickets and the severity and everything. With ease, you'll be able to filter and do certain things that you're not going to be able to do to be able to track all tickets within your team. Obviously, it fosters collaboration, easy communication throughout the team. So if there's several shifts, I don't have to call you in the middle of the night. If I have the third shift, I can, if you have documented this correctly, I can with ease go inside the ticket, work on it, and do whatever necessary if it's my turn to do something at that time. Any questions? Next slide. Common issue or not. My computer is too slow. Downloads are taking too long. So what do you guys, thumbs up for yes, it's a common issue, or the little wavy hand for no, that's not a problem at all?
You're asking if it's a common issue?
Is that a common issue or no? All right. The Wi-Fi keeps disconnecting. Yeah, so far 2 votes. 3. My mouse is not working. I can't log in. Printer not printing. You can see there's seems to be a little trend here, right? I guess I'll go over here to the latter one towards the end just to speed it up. The keys on my keyboard are sticking. Is that a common issue? Hopefully not, unless if people are using their or coffee, beer, or God only knows what into next to their computers, right? Usually we want to be able to keep them away. So, logging into the system itself. When you're logging a ticket, basically we want to make sure we have the ticket number. Usually this is a self-generated number within the actual system. It's not really generated by the user, but that's something we should know. There should be a ticket number. If you're doing it manually, then obviously there should be a actual a number that you guys are going to be associating to it. Date and time. That is critical. Date and time of when it's coming in and or any other notes. You continuously to update that, right? Client information, self-explanatory, creator of the case, and issue type. So, what do you guys think would be the benefit of making sure that all of this information's in there? Is there anything that I could just take out?
What do you mean by take out?
In other words, can I just negate any information in here? Can I just not put who created the case, not put the issue type, not put the client information, not put a date and time? Is there anything here that that doesn't look important to you?
It all looks important. Taking anything will make it less efficient.
Yeah, because you're supposed to like document all this stuff.
Right? So as we think about these things, sometimes it gets repetitive and we need to be careful. We need to understand that the status is on these cases and or the information that we're providing in here is very vital, not only to ourselves, but obviously to the company and for anybody else that may be troubleshooting. We need to be as diligent as possible of having that information in there. Next slide, please. So why do we need this? Obviously, you have the ticket source. How do you become aware of it, of the issue? What is in person, over phone, from email, or electronic ticket? You got to be careful because some of these systems even allow them the internet to use their phone to send an email to the system, and it creates tickets, or it may be a website that they can go. So there's various ways that the help desk can receive these tickets, not only by phone, but they can be self-generated by the user. The more important part is the summary and descriptions. We have the type, which we just said in the previous slide, but the summary and descriptions obviously include many details as you can about the issue itself. It's the next level of information that's necessary because we need to take these down, and most likely if we escalate it to a dispatch sec or somebody, the more information we can have in there, the better. Priority level. This is obviously very tricky. There's many different levels depending on the actual company that you're going to. Their levels may change from obviously just as simple as being urgent, non-urgent, or they can be from 1 to 7, or depending on even colors. That's all depending on them. But we need to obviously be able to identify the different levels and the types of issues that require that. As an example, in UPS, they had 1 through 7. 1 being you had an hour to fix the issue. 7 being that you had 7 days to fix the issue. If you were in the help desk, you would know that there's no way anyone can get a priority level 1. That would be a global issue. That means UPS is completely down, and the only person that can open that would be the NOC. But then he would grab and create what they call SEV2s for all the countries and or any other person that's going to get a case. Those are things that, once again, they're going to train you, but you just need to understand what a priority level is and how to use it within each company, and they train you what is the standard and what you can put. An emergency on a user per se, I can't put that as a SEV1. The only way I can maybe put it as a SEV2, just giving you example again from life example, would maybe if the whole department was down, then I can give that user a SEV2, which means we had 4 hours to fix. 5 was 24 hours. So these are tricks of the trade. You got to learn it in every company you go to. There's no right or wrong. You just need to be able to understand that. As for status, new, open, resolved, and closed. Can anybody tell me what's the variance between resolved and closed? What does resolve a ticket mean to them compared to closed?
Resolved
That you
means the
fix.
issue has been fixed, and closed means that you have already closed the case completely.
That the issue has been fixed, you said?
Resolved can either, sorry, no, I meant like it could either be actually fixed or not fixed. It means that you have already put a conclusion, almost a conclusion to the ticket, and then closing means you have already closed that case completely.
Very close to what I believe that is, yes. So I could try to simplify it a little bit more. So the case came from the help desk, and let's say he has, or the ticket came from the help desk, and then the dispatch service order goes out. So you have your ticket and you have your legs, which are going to be 2 service orders are going out to these dispatch techs. I am the first one to finish what they have told me, but I have not fixed the issue. I didn't fix it. I did finish what they asked me, but it did not fix it. Therefore, I have resolved the service order or the ticket to this point. Technically, it is still open. The time has not stopped on this ticket until someone closes it. Therefore, you have resolved it, but you haven't fixed it. In other words, whatever it is you asked me, I did, but the user is still having problems. Make sense? Yes. No. Maybe. So. You sure? A la Juan, a la Bing, boom, bang.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So another thing that they usually use it is they'll probably put it also on resolved until they confirm with the user that everything is okay. Then they will close it. So the only one that's going to stop that timer of you of avoiding an SLA, a service level agreement being expired, is going to be the closed state. A resolved state keeps the clock running. That kind of help out on the variance. Next is a work log. Work log basically is not the summary description. So I created the ticket, everything has happened, right? Now, when I'm gonna go and work on it, there's an area for work log. This area is every entry that happens and all the events that happen after the ticket has been opened. Until obviously it has been resolved or obviously closed, depending on the state that you leave it in. It's gonna have your status. It's gonna still have your the description and summary for you up on the top. Usually these systems at that point only show you that area as to be able to read. You can't edit it unless if you go back to the other screen. And the work log there can be with a drop down. You can change the status inside the work log depending on which one you want: open, resolved, or closed. Questions or doubts on work log? So from what we're learning here, all tickets should be either new, open, resolved, or closed, right? New obviously is because it just came in. I answered the phone. Open is because, all right, I already touched it and maybe I put it on hold for example. So I leave it open and then dispatch to someone. Is there any questions though throughout the process of resolving the ticket on the different statuses that you could have? Any questions or doubts? We need to make sure and we remember that although we believe that the issue is fixed, what step is that in our troubleshooting that I can put it maybe to resolved? That could be something that before I actually confirm with the user, can anybody tell me what step am I in that I can actually hit resolved? Troubleshooting steps.
You're testing out a theory?
Right after testing out a theory, what's the next step? Dun, dun,
You have to fix the solution. Fix the problem
okay, and what after
and take preventative measures or actions.
Okay. So then between those two steps, can you say that I'm writing on a ticket and say that it's being fixed? What's after preventive measures?
Then you have to
Testing system
document it.
functionality.
Right? Document, but when do I confirm with the because I believe document my findings is the last step. So when do I confirm with the client that everything's fine?
After you tested the system functionality.
That's okay. So tested system functionalities may be resolved, right? And now when I confirmed with the user and I'm documenting and everything, now I can close. That makes sense? Because if in resolved, I can put it right back to open. A lot of these systems won't allow you to reopen a case that's been closed. Matter of fact, you may get reprimanded even if the system itself allows you to. Because technically the SLA was closed, so you're gonna trick the system. Even if you go over on time, sometimes these systems won't notice and the clock already stopped. Any questions or doubts? Go on to the next slide, 10. You have various, and these are obviously the top ones that are being sold out there right now: Zendesk, SolarWinds, TeamViewer, Salesforce, Freshdesk, and Zendesk. So I'll show you a small little video here.
Set up a service case through Management Console. Service Queue allows you to provide instant remote support through a unique link without your customer needing to provide their TeamViewer ID number or password. You can even share the service cases with people on your own team, allowing you to delegate work and optimize team performance. To get started, log into the TeamViewer Management Console. Open your service queue and click on Create Session Code. Enter the name, email address, and a description for the case, and save it. A new unique session code will appear, which you can share with your customer via phone or email. When your customer visits the link, they will automatically be assigned with the session code so you can easily connect to them. To start a remote control session with the customer, simply use the Connect button on the specific service case. To close out the case once it's complete, click on the Edit button and select Close Session. Service Queue.
Okay, so that's just an example of TeamViewer and or different. There's obviously many out there. There's even proprietary ones that are available depending on your needs. A lot of the new ones that are coming out are Salesforce, which contradicts itself. The first time I ever heard of Salesforce, I thought it was Salesforce as in Salesforce, but no, it's actually just a system which you can mold to your needs.
It's a Frankenstein. That's all I'm gonna say.
Working with tickets in Zendesk. A ticket is a conversation between a customer and your company. Unlike other conversations, however, a ticket is a conversation which can be solved. Let's see how it's done. Whenever a customer contacts you through one of the 8 Zendesk channels, a ticket is created automatically and can be found here in your views. Views are customizable collections of tickets. All new tickets show up here in the All Unsolved Tickets view. Solving tickets involves 2 basic activities: organization and conversation. First, organization. Every Zendesk ticket has a requester and an assignee. The requester is the person who contacted you, usually the customer. The assignee is the person in your company currently responsible for the ticket. You can switch the assignee at any time depending on who is best equipped to solve the ticket, which might be you. Ticket assignment is an important part of how Zendesk works, and a ticket must have an assignee in order to be solved. The other fields are optional, but help with organization and workflow automation later on. For more on that, follow the link at the end of the video. The conversation happens over here. Reply to the customer, and include any other colleagues by adding them to the CC field. When you submit a comment to a ticket, you also choose its status. The status of the ticket determines whether it needs further attention or not. A new ticket means it hasn't been assigned to anyone yet. An open ticket means the assignee still needs to work on it. Pending means you are waiting on more information from the customer. Solved means, well, solved, you're done for now. If the customer still has a question and responds again to the ticket, Zendesk will automatically reopen it. In this case, it's pending. Once you submit, the customer and anyone you've CC'd receives an email with the comment. If any of them reply to that email, the ticket will be updated and the discussion will continue until the issue is solved. And that's all it takes to work with a ticket. A couple other things that are helpful to know. First, you can add an internal note to any ticket, which is visible only to your agents, not your customer. Any agent who is CC'd on the ticket will get an email update when you submit that internal note. But keep in mind that if your colleague replies to the email, by default, their comment will be visible to the customer. You can change that and do lots of other advanced pro stuff, and you'll find information on that in our forums. Also, you can create a new ticket manually. Just enter the requester information yourself, assign it to an agent if you're ready to do that, add ticket details, and submit. In this case, both the requester and assignee will get an email with the ticket subject and description. Okay, those are the basics of working with tickets in Zendesk. There's more you can do, and for that, check out the link at the end of the video or search in our forums. And if you have any further questions, you can always email us at
As someone in charge of customer service, you have to keep track of all the emails, the endless calls, and the agents, who could be anywhere, from the hospital to Singapore. And now you have a new headache: social media. Now even the tiniest complaint can turn into a tornado of angry customers. Wow! More problems! Desperate, you search for software that can help you, but it's all expensive and confusing. Isn't there any end to your customer support blues? Luckily, there is. And it's called Freshdesk, the next generation help desk. Customer queries from phones, emails, websites, and even social networking sites get automatically converted into tickets. Instantly solve customer problems with a super simple and smart interface that your agents can reach from around the globe. Freshdesk can automatically assign tickets to different support teams based on intelligent rules. What's more, use a single account to manage support for multiple brands and products. Now you can keep track of everything, except your agents. Thankfully, with Freshdesk around, that's not really an issue. Time now for you and your customers to be happy. Freshdesk, refreshing customer support.
I think you muted Diego.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I noticed. So I believe you guys hopefully had your handout open while we were going through this. I'll give you guys about maybe 5-10 minutes to go over it with each other in your breakout rooms and fill it out. Any questions? Doubts? Hello. Welcome back, Cotter. Welcome back. Did you guys have fun yet? Even making coffee is not working, guys. Maybe if I talk to myself. Diego, what do you think? Well, Diego, that's a very interesting subject. I know. Come on, guys. It's not working. I'm starting to look senile here.
I'm getting PTSD from Salesforce right now.
Am I here to entertain you? Is what it is? Let me explain myself to you, man. All right. All kidding aside, if any difficulty filling out the form or questions on that form itself before we end the session for tickets and ticketing system? Watch it, Jordan. Watch it. Watch it. Ooh, that curve. Almost got hit. All right. Let's go on now to the next one then. Let me stop here the recording.